Hello human beings, I am crazylegsjan and welcome back to VR in a wheelchair. Today we are reviewing a game called Wanderer, or The Wanderer. It's part of the VIII Port Infinity subscription which I played it on. Wanderer is a puzzle game combined with escape room in all its glory, and I absolutely love it. It's a game with another layer because you need to travel in time to complete the tasks at hand. So you start out by following a voice of a kid, and it leads you to this giant chamber, and after you go into the chamber you find yourself in Boston, that is for some reason flooded, in a random building where a woman in a boat car tries to talk to you. You then get down in said boat car and travel down the flooded streets and end up finding some crocs. All this is only for you to find your grandfather's apartment.
Nice shot! You're not completely worthless.
When you get to your grandfather's apartment, the real game kinda starts, as it's full of puzzles for you to solve. And let me tell you already that not all of the tasks are as easy to complete. I very often found myself scratching my hair as I was completely lost in what to do. When you get into the apartment, you hear a voice calling out to you, and you find a talking watch in a box. And when you open the box, you learn that the watch is your helping companion. It can hold items, and it can also help you if you're stuck with a faint tip or advice.
That's more like it. Now,
When you're in the apartment, then my advice to you is to search through all of it and organize the stuff that you find, so they are easy to find, because trust me, you need them later on.
looks like you've connected up this contraption.
The first task in the apartment to complete is to get the power back, and you do that by finding missing fuses and putting them in the correct order. When you have placed them in the correct order and you turn on the power, you need to start fixing the second task at hand. The second task is to open what seems to be the bedroom closet. You do that by taking the flashlight that is in the apartment and putting the correct constellations overlay on it. When you have found the correct overlays, you then turn on the flashlight and then you use your hand and start drawing on the access panel screen. Hint, you need 3 constellation lights to open the door.
Van Gogh saw plenty of stars, if you catch my drift.
The voice of the watch is on point. The person that is the watch voice is called Dorothy Weber. And his voice really reminds me of a person that I've seen in a TV show or a movie. The only problem I have here is that I would love to have the volume of the voice a little bit higher. It feels a little too low, at least in my opinion. Or it would become higher if you moved the watch closer to your ears. You can upgrade the storage of the watch by finding some blue crystal looking things all around each map that you go to. You click the button on the wristband and then the watch of the face pops out of the wristband. And then you put in the watch face into the box and it opens a panel. On that panel you can upgrade how the watch looks, and you can also upgrade the storage. When you choose to upgrade the storage, you are then presented with a minigame, where you have to align a maze, and then get the ball from left side to the right side. It's a fun little minigame to have in the midst of the bigger puzzles. When you have completed a couple of tasks in the apartment, you get to a safe where you need to find a 4-digit code for it. When you have found the code for the safe, you find the counterpart of the watch and a weird golden feather. When you grab the feather, the watch tells you that it resonates and tells you to put it into the counterpart of the watch, aka the bottom part of the watch. You put the feather in the watch and then you travel back in time and to the moon, where Apollo 11 moon landing is. And here is your very first time travel puzzle to solve. You find parts for a radio, and when you put it together you hear Richard Nixon, yes, the Richard Nixon, saying that a terrible event happened and astronauts are sad lost and their resting place is the moon. You walk around on the moon, and I would be lying if I said that I wasn't scared for something or someone popping up in the horizon on the moon. You go to the moon lander and sees the hatch that you need to open. And the watch cheeky notes that we would need a cutting device to get into it. Or what about the angle grinder in the apartment? You go back by clicking the counterpart of the watch, and then you pull out whatever part that you put in there, and then you are right back in the apartment. You then take whatever item that you need for said mission and store it into the watch, and then you reseat the traveling item, in this case the feather, to get back to the moon. You can also hold an item in your hand. It will travel over with you. So you basically have one spot more than what the watch can store. Wanderer is completely playable as a wheelchair user. The game can be played both standing and seated, and you can adjust the height if it's not correct for your liking. You can also choose what hand you want the watch to be on, if that is needed. The game has snap turning and two ways of movements. One is teleportation and the other is locomotion. In the start of the game you have teleportation, and then it asks you if you want to try locomotion, so you can try both of them. You move around on your left hand and you turn with the snap turning on your right hand. You jump by using the A button on your right hand on the Oculus Meta Quest 2. The game is on Steam for €33.99. It's on Oculus Store for $39.99 and finally on Viveport for €36.43. If you feel like I'm missing something or could have done something differently, then leave a comment. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to check out this video where I'm reviewing Belco VR Escape Experience.
Your grandfather certainly left some breadcrumbs. Well, after you. Here we go again.